Welcome to Path to the Playoffs. Casey Phillips here with senior writer and editor Scott Smith, and this is where we tell you all of the potential scenarios, things to watch, all the factors involved in the Buccaneers trying to make it to the playoffs. So, Scott, even though the Bucs didn't have a game this last week, that doesn't mean there weren't implications in those games for the Buccaneers' playoff push. So, what were some of the games you had an eye on and the outcomes and what it meant for the Buccaneers now moving forward?
Well, the Buccaneers went into their bye week, in the sixth spot out of 7 NFC playoff seeds, and they came out of it in the sixth spot out of 7 playoff seeds. Some of the teams changed around them. It was the Rams in the 5th spot, but now it's Seattle because the Rams retook first place in the West, and it was Arizona right behind the Bucs, but now it's Minnesota because Minnesota won. And of all the games, and Arizona lost, of all the games that we would have liked to go a certain way, the big one that did not was Minnesota. And the Jaguars almost pulled off that upset. Our old friend Mike Glennon got him into overtime with a 2-point conversion, but was then intercepted in overtime, which set up the game-winning field goal for Minnesota. So nice try, Jags. We would have appreciated it, but they got close. What that allowed Minnesota to do was win their 5th game in their last 6 weeks and go from 1-5, and a team that traded away Yannick Ngakoue at the trade deadline, which seemed like a giving up move, to now 6-6 and in the playoff picture, 1 game behind the Bucs, with a game coming up against the Bucs right now this weekend. So otherwise, we got good results from the Rams beating Arizona, from Detroit beating Chicago, from San Francisco losing. So for the most part, it was a pretty good weekend for the Bucs, but their position is about the same as when they went into it.
Which means now, of course, these last 4 games incredibly important. And do you basically the Bucs in a lot of ways hold? You always hear the term of holding the future in their own hands. That they still have an element of control here. So, what do you think it's going to take in these last 4 games? And are some of the games more important than others?
Yeah, I love that control your own destiny phrase because the idea is, hey, we need 4 wins to absolutely, certainly, without a doubt, clinch a playoff spot. So we control our own destiny, but I don't know if the Vikings and the Lions and the Falcons feel the same way, So, yeah, basically, win 4 and you're definitely in, and you got a good shot at that first wild card seed. I should mention that the Saints also won again. They beat the Falcons, who put up a pretty big fight, especially at the end. But with that win, they've all but clinched the division. We would have to win all 4, and they would have to lose all 4. And while I certainly hope and believe that first part can happen, I seriously doubt the Saints are going to lose their last 4 games. So we're looking at a wild card spot. And, ideally, you just want to get in the dance no matter where you are. But ideally, the higher the spot, the better. If you're in the 5th spot, you're going to be taking on the NFC East winner, which on paper looks like the easiest matchup. So win them all is good. Win 3 out of 4, you're at 10-6. And because there are only 2 teams that are 6-6 behind the Bucs at 7-5, they would both have to run the table for there to be a problem for the Buccaneers, and that's Minnesota and Arizona. And the Buccaneers can take care of Minnesota this week. So 3 wins is almost certainly going to do it for the Bucs. And then you get 2 wins at 9-7, and then there's a lot of different scenarios. So we won't worry about that one until it gets a little bit closer.
All right. Well, yeah, it may not matter the home field advantage as much, but you're right. Those matchups and who you might be facing definitely could potentially matter. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us on Path to the Playoffs. We're here every week leading up to the rest of the season, letting you guys know which games to pay attention to and what the situation is. So we'll see you next time.